Welcome to another episode of Beyond Bookkeeping, brought to you by Febi.ai. In this series, we explore the unsung heroes of the business world. And today, our focus is on a fundamental yet frequently underestimated aspect bookkeeping. Joining us today is Saurabh Goyal, a dear friend, a business coach, and an inspiration to founders like us. Saurabh is also a founder of Success Brew community. Saurabh, welcome to the Express podcast.
Thank you so much.
Saurabh, I know you're taking this from Chandigarh, so it's Chandigarh to Mumbai calling right now. Before we get into a bookkeeping, I want to start with knowing more about Success Brew. I want to start to know what are you creating an impact and how you're creating an impact.
Success Brew is basically three things. It's not just one thing. So the core of Success Brew is a content marketing company where we help a lot of brands, especially SaaS and D2C, to build their content. And I have personally believed in the power of content actually. So this Express podcast is also a piece of content that will go to a lot of people, and we don't know when it will go to somebody and help. Maybe 10 years down the line also it helps, right? Okay. Because whenever somebody asks me, Saurabh, I'm weak at networking, how do I build a better network? I pick up a YouTube video that is 14 years old and I share with people. And they still watch it and they say, wow, it is amazing, right? Because power of content is lifelong, right? So I thought of building content, and for myself also the energy, then that journey started with content itself on LinkedIn. Everything has been grown organically. We never ran Facebook ads or any outbound for ourselves, especially. Everything is inbound, and we have closed anywhere around 2.5, 3 crores of revenue in past 2, 3 years for the content marketing company. Everything is inbound, right? And apart from that, Success Brew is a micro ecosystem where there are founders, there are experts like you, there are creators, investors, VC firms. It's a small community of around 5,000 people, but the impact has been amazing. We recently calculated that the internal business exchange in the community that I know is around 1.5 to $2 million, right?
That's
And
as well as the fundraise, Series A type.
so we have not done that as of now. That will happen now. Okay, we are talking to one of the companies that might end up raising around $3 million.
Good. Wish you luck
Right,
for that.
it's gonna happen soon. And the third part of my life is definitely education. So, like you said, Soumya is coming after 14 years to the work life, and it is not easy to come back to work life after 14 years of a gap. It's a huge gap. And the basic thing that somebody like that needs is to understand कि वो बीच में कितना मिस हो गया है,
Mm.
या अभी कहाँ पे है, right? Okay. So I started a coaching program for all the females because I read a report in 2021. It said around 74% of corporate women leave job after an experience of 10 to 14 years just because of the lack of flexibility in the corporate career. And India is still a country where man leads the show in terms
Mm.
of money. A man will not leave the job for taking care of the kids or parents, but a woman will. And this is not happening by force. This is completely happening as a volunteer. The woman says, okay, this is my time to be with family and I take up lunch, right? But yes, they still have 4 to 5 hours a day at home and they can work. So we started building an entire program. Okay, you have a skill, you can build a business around it, do freelancing. And first batch was an experiment. And to my surprise, everybody in that batch, all 14 women, are now making over 2 lakhs a month. It's been
Wow.
18 months only. So this is part. So the content, the community, and the courses. This is the three part of Success Brew. And majorly, I lead the show as a one-person company. It's a one-person company we have built. And now I'm like looking forward to understanding more scale, more automation, how to build something that doesn't need me. There's a lot of thoughts going on in the mind. So that's why I keep connecting with people like you and, understanding how scalable things are formed actually, because I personally never worked very big into the corporate career. It was just a 2 year stint into mechanical industry, that to a tier three company having a revenue of around 50 to 100 crores. And but so वहाँ पे कोई system नहीं था. It was a Lala company. So there was nothing to learn in terms of system. But yes, I worked with a great CEO who was a retired CEO, the owner of this company. And he taught me a great deal about life, about negotiations, about meeting people, about handling, when things go wrong, what to do, how to stay tough in tough times. So those 2 years are still impacting my life every single day.
And that is where I said inspiring to a lot of startups like us, right? And rightly so. So Saurabh, one man company, a lot of things on your hand. three strong verticals you already spoke about, and each of them requires you can pretty much build companies on each vertical, right? Let's put it this way, right? And you are doing it yourself. Now, forget about the sales, right? You know how to do sales, or anybody else want to do sales. Other than sales, what is as a founder a concern that keeps you up at night?
Finance, more
Like,
money coming into the company, and so first is the money coming into the company, and then am I able to really create wealth with my own money, or I'm just living day-to-day life? So I'm 34 now, right? Okay. And I think the way I've worked in past 10 years, I can work another 10 years. उसके बाद आई विल बिकम अ पर्सन जो कहेगा यार 7 8 घंटा काम कर लिया दिन में बहुत है, अभी तो हम 18 घंटे कर लेते हैं, 8 योर डे स्टार्ट्स. So I keep working as long as I can. It
awesome.
works. So finance is definitely a point of concern where whether I'm creating my wealth or not.
Since you spoke about the finance, and we're going to bring in our unsung hero here, which is bookkeeping, right? Now, bookkeeping. Do you do it? Let's start with the fact that do you do it yourself, or you use a platform, or you have outsourced it? How do you do it?
So I do have a CA. So I upload all my invoices to a drive, Google Drive link, all the expenses bills, all the purchase bills, everything. And she does whatever she does. So at the end of the
And make
month,
sure she does a
on
good job.
20th, on 12th, 13th, she will ask me OTP to file a GSTR1 and all. And then on the 23rd, she'll say, okay, you have to pay the GST, and that is done.
So in the current setup that you have, where she looks after your books of accounts, and in a good way, obviously, uh, if there was anything for you to change, what or improve, or what would that be? Not as a person, but I'm just saying as a process.
As a process, I would say right now I'm like creating an invoice, uploading it to the drive. Then she takes, sometime we miss a, invoice. Sometime we forget that, okay, this invoice needs to be cancelled. So right now, being a one-person company, this entire system cannot go to anyone else. Like there cannot be a team to do it. I have to personally see through it every single time, right? So I think this is completely dependent on me and my CA only, right? I cannot say, ki, okay, I can hire a 10,000 ka person who can charge me part-time and can still manage it. He will make big mistakes and I'll be at loss at the end of the day.
It's money, right?
It's
Eventually, right?
funny.
So, Saurabh, you spoke about uh, creators. You spoke about the microsystem ecosystem you're building, right? And in the creators economy, where you are pretty much involved on a day-to-day basis, and there is a lot of things which is happening on an AI, right? AI
Hmm.
is impacting the way you write, the way you speak, the way you interpret, the way you do data analysis, anything. Now, fast forward this and say that if you were to incorporate AI into bookkeeping,
Hmm.
where do you want this bookkeeping to be, or what the future of bookkeeping should be?
So not coming from a bookkeeping background or a finance background, I don't know much about it कि क्या हो सकता है, क्या possibilities हैं. But from my level of understanding, जितना मुझे पता है, if I can just give all my data to the platform, any AI-based platform, and this data can somehow interpret me और tell me कि यार तुमने ना ज्यादा खर्चा किया है, या तुमने इस महीने पैसा नहीं कमाया है, या वो मुझे
ये
महीने
बता
की
दे।
10 तारीख या वो मुझे महीने की 10 तारीख को बता सके कि भाई योर टारगेट्स आर मच लेसर देन द प्रीवियस मंथ, आपका पैसा उतना नहीं आया इस महीने.
Sales analytics.
सेल्स एनालिटिक्स एंड मोर देन सेल्स, समटाइम वी हैव रिटेनर्स ऑलरेडी.
Yep.
सो हमें याद नहीं रहता किससे पैसा लेना है या किसका इन्वॉइस क्लियर नहीं हुआ है.
The follow-up management.
द फॉलो अप मैनेजमेंट, राइट? सो अगर वो मुझे दिखा दे कि यार ये आपके ना 15 लाख के रिटेनर्स हैं इस महीने के, लेकिन इसमें से सिर्फ 3 लाख ही आया अभी तक, 15 तारीख हो गई.
And this would be pretty common across all the creators, right?
यस.
So follow-up management, task tracker, basically following up, or the money. That's
यस.
you even miss up. Sometimes
यस.
you don't follow it up, and the value could be different. It could be small amount, and larger amount. Everybody notices it. Everybody knows
यस.
that, but the smaller amount get to slip, right?
यस.
That affects the Saurabh. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you. As I said, it's an express podcast, and you rightly said somebody would be hearing this today or tomorrow, or in years from now, or months from now, and pretty much they would resonate to the fact that what you've been dealing is something which is common to a lot of people like us, and I also run a small game publishing studio, right? So I know exactly where you come from. And it's a one-man company, right? Typically, that's how you start, and there are times when you grow. Uh, well, I'm going to ask you one last question, which is going to be my
But
favorite.
I'll share one more thing with you before you
Please.
ask the question. एक और part होता है, let's say we have some money in the account and we have to pay bills for our freelancers who work with us, right?
Mm.
Sometimes we ending up paying all the money to the freelancers, and let's say it is 21st of the month. 22nd को जब सीए बोलता है ना कि आपको ये जीएसटी अमाउंट पे करना है, वो हमारे अकाउंट में होता नहीं है,
Why?
बिकॉज हमने सारा पे कर
Yes.
दिया, हमें पता ही नहीं कितना देना था.
Ah,
Did not stop or block that जीएसटी अमाउंट. तो उसका कोई बैरियर होना चाहिए जो मुझे बताए कि यार आपका इस महीने का जीएसटी अमाउंट इतना है, आप इससे ज्यादा पे मत करो.
mm,
At least keep this much money in your account.
wow. Yeah, so basically, not the basic nuance of knowing your
Yes,
position, right? Your cash position, whether it is a smaller element like a TDS, or what is due, what is outstanding, and doing a mismatch, right? Or matching the mismatch. Let's
yes.
put it right? That makes sense. No, no, Saurabh, thank you, yaar. Quite insights, and this is, I guess, as I said, the pain point for a lot of us, and a lot of people, a lot of young startups, or a lot of solopreneurs, if I have to say that. With that, I'm going to ask you one last question, which is my favorite, is what does money means to you personally?
Oxygen to the business.
Yeah, wealth creation you already mentioned. Now it's oxygen. That means without which you will not survive.
सर हम तो बनी है, मतलब पैसे के बिना तो काम ही नहीं चलता ना. मतलब वी कैन से दैट मनी इज अ मैन मेड थिंग, बट एट द एंड इसके बिना तो कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा.
Of course. Of
इवन
course.
वी आर बाइंग वाटर मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स.
No, Saurabh, thank you. Yaar. It was amazing speaking with you. And obviously we'll keep on talking more. And wish you luck in whatever you're building. Great
Done.
initiative. Success Brew obviously would grow multifold, and that 1 million of the impact you have created will become multifold. I'm pretty sure the way you are working and way you have transitioned this.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye bye.